Hey guys, it's Coach Bricks.
Coach James.
The game changed fundamentals. Okay, I wanted to talk about why fundamentals are so important and what us as Americans are missing. Okay, we're so quick to jump to the sports skill. Okay, I want to go hire my own private basketball coach to teach me how to dribble, shoot, or soccer coach, or football, whatever. We're willing to pay X amount of dollars. Parents, you're willing to throw shell out money for all this kind of stuff. But you're not looking at the most fundamental thing and that's movement, okay? How do I run? How do I jump? Just because your kid can do those things that you think, okay, doesn't mean they're doing them correctly. And they could be doing harm. Just because they don't have an injury now doesn't mean the injury's not waiting, it's not brewing in the back somewhere. I could throw a baseball. Nobody's gonna pay any money to come and have me teach you how to throw a baseball like a pitcher because I have no idea, but I can throw a baseball. Okay, might not be right. Just like kids can run, doesn't mean they're right. Kids can jump, doesn't mean it's correct. And I know people say, well, what do you mean? Your movement is valuable. And I know a lot of strength coaches don't always understand movement, but movement is key to life and how long you can last and how long you can stay away from injuries if you ever get hurt. And that's one of the things that we study and look at. Fundamentally getting athletes to understand how to use their bodies. And one of the things that we've seen is the bad movement patterns are continually getting worse, but also kids are not firing muscles correctly. Okay, even adults. I get a bunch of kids come in here and I'll have them do an exercise and I say, where do you feel this? They'll tell me they feel it in different spots than where they should feel it. Why? Because we become so dominant in certain muscles and other muscles turn off, they're having all kinds of issues. But it goes back to the fundamentals. It goes back, what are we teaching? We've lost free play. So we just got to take that out of the equation. I would like to get back to it. There are more people go out and just run around and kids just play tag and any other kind of game out there that they could possibly can come up with. I doubt it's going to come back just because of the society that we're in right now and this hyper sports, youth sports model that everybody's into. But we need to get back to fundamentals. And if you're not getting the fundamentals, you're leading yourself open to injuries. So I don't know why parents are paying X amount of dollars for these skills when the fundamentals aren't even there. Now imagine if you pay and you understand fundamentals and then you put the sports skills on top, how much better you're gonna be. Sky's the limit. But if I do these sports skills, right, I might get better and then all of a sudden I have an injury, then I gotta go back down here. And then I get the sports skills, go back. There's no reason for that. Build yourself up correctly. Get the fundamentals in, okay, strength, power, speed, explosion, all that kind of stuff, mobility. And then also add in some sports skills later on and then watch what happens. So what do you see, Coach James, when it comes to an athlete of today and their fundamental?
Well, I know I've seen it with athletes that come in here that would initially come in and they're year-round single sport kids and they're just hammering home the same sport and they might get like a month off, and they've changed that in coming in here where they might get more time off. They might still be playing year-round for that same sport, but they're adding in the stuff we do here and learning these different movements. And you can see the growth with them, and you hear back from the parents at, man, like he's throwing so much harder. We see him running faster around the field, around the bases. He's hitting the ball farther. And it's like, all they were doing before was all that skill work.
Yes.
And that's when you start to see the change, is once they see stuff in here works and not just all the skill work and it's everything combined, they're like, oh, it actually all works together and we don't just need one. But the biggest thing is, like you had mentioned, it's all kind of that, and I talked about it in one of the episodes I think before, it's all the hope that everyone thinks that they're going to be the next greatest player out there.
Yeah.
And they need to be that great skill player, but it's everything combined that's going to make you that great player.
Yes. Yeah, and I think, let me break this down a little bit simpler for parents is, think about your son or daughter, okay? It's in 5th grade, okay? And you can even go younger. Imagine not having them learn any basic math, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication. They don't know anything. And throwing them into calculus. That's what you're doing when it comes to, I'm going to jump right into the sports skill. I'm going to pay X amount of dollars to the sports skill. Not just even the practice with the team. That's one thing. Okay, but I'm talking about paying extra money to go see some trainer. but you didn't teach them the fundamentals. Yes, they're the fundamentals of that sport, but they don't have the fundamentals of life, of the human body. That's where we keep missing out in America. We keep missing out on the most basic things. Why? Because they're not the glamorous things. They're not the cool looking things. They're not the shiny objects. Forget about the shiny objects. I want my body to last to 120 where I don't have any disease or any pain. Okay? Or if I do have pain, I know how to get out of it right away. Okay? Most kids are in pain and then their body breaks down by the age of 30. Parents, look at yourself. How many of you have pain? Constant pain. You get up, your knees hurt, or your crack, or your back hurts. Shouldn't happen. But because we neglected the fundamentals, this is what goes on. So don't let that happen to your child. Get them in a program that's going to teach them the fundamentals. Just like if I build the pyramids, I'm not building the top first. Okay, I'm not putting that top piece on. I got to have a foundation. That's what our program and sports training programs do. They build the foundation of strength, movement, speed, all that stuff. So then you can glide in and then go to the sports skills. So don't skip the fundamentals. Do not skip them because you're missing out on athletic development. You're missing out on a piece. Like I said, you'll get good, but you'll never be great. You got to have all the components together like Coach James said. Guys, this is Coach Bricks.
Coach James.
Game Changers.